Hello world, this is Nyasha Charandura from Major Sports Institute / Major Sports Innovation Hub. This time we've decided to end a year in a different note. Over the years, we've been empowering coaches across different platforms from CAF point of view when we do the coach education programs, our own programs as Major Sports. But one of the key missing link was the transition of athletes into coaching, the transition of athletes into applied sports science and everything. I've been asked a lot of questions from a number of fellow coaches and also upcoming coaches on how they can be able to transition into the scientific world, which is now more or less like a global trend. So we decided to come up and post these on our channel starting the end of this year. And definitely we promise you that we'll be sharing great insights each and every week, at least 2 videos. The objective is very simple, is to make sure that we transition you guys into the next level where there is also part of return. I'm sitting on a vast amount of experience of what I'm talking about. I'll find a video where I look at my foundation as a sports scientist, as a former athlete, and working with about 2 different national teams qualifying for AFCON and other areas. But today, I'm going to touch an exciting subject: why most athletes fail to transition into becoming strength and conditioning coaches or fitness coaches, whatever way you're going to call it. I know most of the time when I speak about this, I speak about football, but I have a foundation of athletics. I was a national athlete, 2009. I was a national champion in my country, Zimbabwe, and I represent my country and southern region. Post that, I was a collegiate champion for more than 3 years, 100 meters, 200 meters. And that's when I moved also into studying sports science. So I have got that foundation and history of understanding being an athlete and also being a coach, an entrepreneur, working with national teams and etc. And I think if it's your first time to visit us, you can visit our website www.majorsportsinstitute.com so that you can also be able to see one of the key empowering tools that I've set for Africa. Anyway, the reason why today we want to touch about that because we have seen a lot of promising coaches who are maybe former athletes. They want to transition into becoming coaches, and they choke over the way for many reasons, which some of them will be discussing week in and week out. But today I would like to focus on this key topic: 5 reasons why most former athletes fail to effectively transition into becoming strength and conditioning coaches or fitness coaches. I've worked with athletes from the athletics point of view, the running point of view, where I've got more than 5 athletes on scholarship who went on scholarship in America. And from there, I worked with the Sebos, which is the rugby national team of Zimbabwe, during their Gold Cup 2017 as the strength and conditioning coach. And also, I worked with the Zimbabwe national team. If you go to the AFCON 2020, which was 2019 to 2020, I was the strength and conditioning coach for the team. I've also worked with Azam and I'm still working with Azam as a high performance consultant, and I also worked with them as a strength and conditioning coach at some time. And I also worked with the Tanzania national team in their qualifier for the AFCON, and I was in the whole process until my commitments had to realign me, which is more or less like coach education. That's why we are bringing this education platform, so that there might be an understanding or transformation that might happen to some of the coaches. And remember to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Now our pages goes like MSI Innovation Hub. The reason why we're bringing that element of innovation is because there's a difficult transition. About 2 difficult transitions, could I say. The first transition is coming from being an athlete and being a coach. The second transition is coming from being a coach and becoming a brand. That even when it's time up, you can still be recognized. When you go and look Arsene Wenger right now, you can still be able to see that there is a brand that was made out of him and different coaches. But when you see most of our coaches in Africa, they fall shadow of who they were before. It becomes difficult to say, is this the coach that I knew? Is this the player that I knew? So I'm going to focus mainly on players today, or those who want to move from general into becoming like a professional strength and conditioning coach or fitness coaches. So I'll get into that. And maybe before I go there, remember to like, subscribe, and share this presentation, especially to athletes who want now to be move into coaching. Could it be strength and conditioning coaching? Could it be the real coaching, like as in the tactical part of it or the technical part of it? Please share and subscribe. We managed to go through all these processes because remember, I'm a sports scientist. I focus on football. That's why most of you wonder, how do I become a CAF football fitness and instructor when maybe someone say, I never have played it in a elite level. Actually, I was good enough. If you follow one of our transition, like the videos that I did, the interview that I did with Alice Lundura, you can be able to see some of our foundation. However, it's a story for another day, which we will look at. Okay, let's come now and look at number one reason why it's very difficult for most players to move from being a player into becoming an effective strength and conditioning coach. The first thing is skill development. Skill development. You know, it's not an overnight thing where you become an athlete today and tomorrow you're already becoming a coach. Because this is a skill that is supposed to be developed. It's a process that has to be taken. So what usually happens is most players, they use their relationship with coaches. Maybe they were captains or whichever way, which is a very good thing because networking and connection is very important. You'll see when we'll be speaking about networking in our website that will be emphasizing the importance of saying the best common wealth you can ever have in this world is the ability to network. Because when you network, opportunities come. But remember, connections and networks, they get you the positions. But what determines your value now, it is the skill that would have been developed. Firstly, this is a profession. That's why, as a scientist, I was also part of it. Most of you, they just think that when they see us, they see a fitness coach. We are beyond that. I'm a scientist. That's why it's very easy for me. I can be able to teach CAF A courses, CAF B courses, CAF C courses. If it was just an ordinary SNC coach or fitness coach, if you think, try, they are there. Let them try to go and do the same thing. Then you realize that it's a totally different industry that we're talking about. It's a broad spectrum, which each and every week we'll be bringing different subjects to do that. So most of them, they don't want to develop skills. And usually they end focusing on maintenance program rather than development. They focus on maintenance programs rather than development because they don't know the foundation of what strength and conditioning is, what football fitness is, what athletic fitness is, what rugby fitness is. They focus just on a single thing, which is maintenance. But the maintenance also has principle. What is maintenance? They focus on warm-ups. They focus on just making people run without specific calculations, etc. They focus on cool downs. So when someone is to be called a fitness coach, they just think about that. But it goes beyond that because there should be a specific skill. There should be the foundation of knowledge. You can determine the style of play of a team by the type of conditioning coach they have. Most teams in Africa, they are being destroyed by employing wrong people because they are friends, because they former good players, good athletes, good whatever. Then they begin to employ them. But you begin to see that in the long term, because there is an experience which comes through understanding and having the foundation of the skill. So most of them, they don't have it. What they only have is a name and the respect they get from the players because they say, I used to play, I used to be a captain, I used to play for national team, I used to do this. But you see that most of them will begin to struggle in that particular industry. That's number one. Number